What up, everyone? This is Fairchild, and you're watching Cross Rhythm. Welcome to part 2 of my reaction video series. On this episode, we're going to look at a YouTube channel from Pulse Nigeria. That's the name of the YouTube channel, and the title is Should Cameroon Ban Nigerian Music? Facts only. So, just to give you a backstory of what the discussion is talking about, they're having a discussion about Nigerian Afropop acts being so popular when they go to other countries, they take away potential income that the local artists could be earning. So the whole discussion is centered around that. Let's get right into it.
So Cameroon, Nigerian artist, normally recently had an issue in Cameroon.
Yeah.
It ties back to the fact, just the sentiment that caused Omale and Thames arrest in Uganda.
Yeah.
Other African countries want Nigerian music to be banned in their countries. So what's the origin of this sentiment?
Look at Nigeria, for example. Nigeria is like the America of Africa. We are enviable, we are visible. There's a high level of desirability that comes with everything Nigerian.
That's an interesting statement he just said there. Nigeria is the America of Africa. I guess from my point of view, when I'm listening to this, I'm thinking of, okay, America is a cultural capital of the world. That's what it is. Whatever America does from a cultural standpoint, we copy, right? If Meg the Stallion starts wearing Doc Martens tomorrow, yeah, there's going to be a bunch of kids in other countries wearing Doc Martens. That's the influence America has on the world as a whole. With Nigeria, that's interesting. I don't know in terms of Africa, the influence that Nigeria has, because I haven't lived in Africa for years. So that, I don't think I would be best to comment on that. What I will say, though, is when we do look internationally, there is some merit to that statement. When, I've lived in America, when you talk to a lot of people in America, in Europe, when they think of Africa, the first place they think of is Nigeria. Ghana also. We recently had the year of return in Ghana. Ghana has become popular recently. A lot of expats have been moving to live in Ghana. You know what? What I will say with just more thought on this topic, because I've been giving it some thought in terms of Nigeria being the America of Africa. When we think of Afrobeats, we think of Nigerian music. You think of Wizkid, Burna Boy. If I say Afrobeats, even though it's a bigger genre, there are a lot more genres in Afrobeats. So there is merit in that. When we talk of movies, if you are going to look for an African movie, chances are you are heading for a Nollywood movie. There are some points there. Okay, let's keep watching.
Nigerians have there's a gathering or a community of Nigerians everywhere you go. Everywhere you go. Even in Cameroon, in Kumba, Cameroon, there's a gathering of Nigerians in Kumba, Cameroon. Nigerians who have been there, have been married there, and been there for a long time. And we have a huge population.
This is a very true statement. There are 206 million Nigerians. Most densely populated country in Africa. Nigeria makes up 2.6% of the world's population. There are 9 million people in Lagos. 9 million. New York only has 8. So that's a lot of people. More than half of them are under 19. And the second highest populated country in Africa is Ethiopia. You didn't know that, right? 114. That's almost half. So yeah, that's a lot of people. There's a high chance of you bumping into a Nigerian at one point or another.
That means the things that we create in pop culture, or that we move with in pop culture, they're going to transcend our country, and they're going to get out into the world faster than the creations of other countries. In the US and in parts of mainstream Europe, the spread of Nigerians is quite incredible. First generation and second generation African immigrants are in those places.
Nigerians are everywhere. I once went to a town called Winnebago, Minnesota. Yeah, it's exactly what you think it is. Had one stoplight, population 1,000. There was one black guy who was Nigerian.
Now we are here. Afrobeats is now a thing. Afrobeats, not Afrobeats. And every time anybody outside Africa thinks of Afrobeats, they think of Nigeria.
again, it's a numbers thing here in America. I once went to the whitest of white neighborhood. I went to a coffee shop and they were playing Omale. That was really surprising to me. I know the Latin community, they do like a lot of the Afropop acts. Wizkid is popular in some of the Latin countries and in the islands too.
Like almost the only country that probably comes to your mind is Nigeria. Whereas Afrobeats is like a collection of African pop sounds. So you are talking about every other thing. You are talking about Kwaito in South Africa. Amapiano is Afrobeats because these people don't know the name of this genre.
Yeah, Amapiano has actually become very popular of late. When you look at all the singles that have come out in the Nigerian Afropop scene this year, a lot of them are Amapiano inspired. Davido's Lala, Zinolinski, Kilo Fese, Mastercraft, Hallelujah, Olamide's Require. So yeah, we've had a lot of Amapiano inspired songs come out this year. It's become the popular genre.
Now we are here. Nigerian artists are bigger than ever. In other African countries, their music are traveling. If Wizkid releases an album today, it's going to be number one in a lot of African countries. If Burna Boy releases an album today, it's going to be number one in a lot of African countries. The same thing with Davido to Savage. It's not a problem for other people because Nigerian artists are bigger than their own music. Right now, either you like it or not, Nigerian music is just more fashionable. It's more popular. It's more trendy. You go on radio, they are there. On streaming platforms, they are favored.
If you go on Spotify, African Heat, it's the most followed Spotify playlist for Afropop music. Well, majority of the music tends to be Nigerian.
Every other place is their favored. But here's the thing: you have to look at it holistically, right? If your people do not like Nigerian music, like if the people in your country do not like Nigerian music is not going to be big in your country. Like, it's not going to thrive. I agree that if you promote something in a particular way and you play it excessively to those people in a particular place, they are going to like it.
That has been proven to be true, that if a song is played frequently over and over and over, you actually start to like the song. Of course, it has to be somewhat good. It has to be good to begin with.
So if you force feed people such things, they are going to like it. But at the same time, this is not about force feeding. Davido and Wizkid will go to a lot of African countries. Davido, Wizkid, Burna Boy, P-Square at the time. The bands, they will go to African countries and sell out venues. Easy. P-Square especially were selling out venues across Africa. It didn't just start today.
P-Square were definitely that first group that I saw breaking out because prior to that, with the whole Afropop thing, we hadn't seen superstars, but P-Square were that group that when I saw them with Rick Ross, and they exploded in the early part of the 2000s. They would fill out stadiums. They had quite a run, P-Square.
If it wasn't favorable to you, if your people don't like these songs, they are not going to be big in your country. And there's nothing you can do about that. On streaming platforms, either you like it or not, aside from South Africa, Nigeria is the gold mine of Africa because we have the numbers. And like I said before, over 50% of us in Nigeria is under 19 years old. And they are internet savvy. And internet penetration in Nigeria increased to about over 30% last year.
Internet access is just going to explode in Africa. It's not a question of if, it's when. You know, I've said this time and time again already. A lot of people have cell phones in Africa. Cell phones are the one thing that people have. A lot of people have even the latest cell phones. It's something that is just going to take Africa over, and it's going to definitely change the continent. Nigeria is a very big market, 209 million people. When you have over half the population under 19 and they're internet savvy, a lot of companies see dollar signs when they look at something like that. As we come out of this pandemic, the COVID pandemic, if more people are on the internet, things like a pandemic will not be as impactful as this one was, where stores have to shut down because we would be online, we would be trading online, and something like a pandemic, which A lot of scientists have said it's going to ramp up as we continue in the future. Pandemics are going to be here to stay. And, as humans, the one thing that we're able to do is organize, restructure, and find ways to get out of different challenges. So if these pandemics continue to progress, I'm pretty sure you will see internet access being something that everyone will prioritize in order for commerce to continue to happen.
Alone is about 32.6% now. So you can't say false streaming platforms because these people are trying to make money. And then you are not the only one that has been here before. We've been here before. At different times in Nigerian history, foreign music has been bigger than our music here. Hip-hop, American hip-hop and R&B were big on Nigerian radio. Much bigger on Nigerian radio than Nigerian music was at the time. Huge! After that era, we are looking at mid-2000s where Two-Face and VIP had an entire run in Nigeria, where they inspired us. Before that, we are looking at the early 2000s where Awilo Logomba was an entire thing in Nigeria. It was the biggest thing in Nigeria at some point. It was bigger than all Nigerian artists.
We don't give enough credit to that era, that Kwasa Rumba era. Awilo Longomba was huge back in the day. I mean, it wasn't just him. There was Pepe Kali, there was Kanda Bongo Man, there was Kofi Olomide. Those guys sold records.
So why are these other African countries, why are the artists struggling?
Are they really struggling though? No, they are not.
Why they are envious.
They think that if Nigerian artists were to leave their country, things would be better for them. But here's the truth. Times have gone. The times that a foreign artist will be bigger than a native artist in the country, those times have left us completely. They are not here anymore. If things might not be as clear for those other countries, but last year, guess who dethroned Wizkid's album on Apple Music? When Wizkid dropped his EP, Rifatin, a Ghanaian artist in Ghana, dethroned Wizkid. We found our pop sound in the mid-2000s with the entrance of Timaya, Nice, Wande Cole, and then Wizkid. We found our pop sound and we never looked back from there. And guess what informed our pop sound? Hip-hop, R&B, and Awilo Logomba. And a little bit of street sound.
Yeah.
I think also Raga, dancehall has been very influential to Afropop. When you listen to a lot of the Afropop acts, you hear a lot of dancehall. So I would add that to that.
I think it's a problem for people generally to acknowledge the influence of other countries on them. You remember when Mr. Easy came out and started saying he influenced everybody in Nigeria? And people were saying, oh, you are lying. Oh, it's not true. The sound didn't change because you got here. That's not true. When Mr. Easy got into this country, the entire soundscape changed. The Ghanaian pom-pom sound basically influenced 60% of Nigerian hits over the next 12 years after Mr. Easy released Skin Tight.
Mr. Easy's Skin Tight is it's a good hit. Go check it out if you haven't seen it. I mean, Mr. Easy's catalog. I'm actually going to be doing some content on Mr. Easy, so stay tuned for that. But if you're not familiar with Mr. Easy, go check out his catalog. He's also very popular in the Latin scene. Definitely an artist to dig in if you're looking for any other Afropop acts. Mr. Easy is definitely one of them.
It's just like Amapiano now. How everybody is obsessed with Amapiano now, that was how we were obsessed with Pom Pom then. But sometimes Nigerian artists give credit. Nigerian artists pay homage. Remember the Mafikizolo era? Nigerian artists were not just jumping on the sound. They featured Mafikizolo to a point where we were saying this is too much.
That Mafikizolo era, I remember that. That was early 2000s, 2013, where we had Mafikizolo with Davido, Chelete. I liked the one Happiness. Definitely Mafikizolo they were definitely the go-to group during that era. A lot of artists were collaborating with them.
This was Koito Sound, Afro House. That's some form of homage, either you like it or not. You don't have to say it expressly that this is what I'm doing before you pay homage. The fact that you're jumping on it is appreciation. The greatest form of respect is imitation. That's the greatest form of respect. You don't have to say it. It doesn't have to be expressed. But sometimes you have to say it. Let's even leave music aside for a minute. Why are we fighting amongst each other? The black race is the most maligned race in the world. We get looked down upon either we like it or not. Either we do something wrong or not. But because of ego, we are fighting each other.
So that's it, folks. That's the discussion. You know, just listening to what was being said, I honestly feel like there's enough room for everyone to eat. I think we all need to have that mindset that sometimes you have to play Robin to become Batman. You're dealing with 206 million people, so it's highly likely that anything that they put out is going to have a further reach as opposed to a smaller country like Rwanda. But I don't think we should look at it as a threat. I think the only way we're going to move forward and be successful as people is to understand who are the key players. You need to understand in any team who's good at what, and we take it from there. That's all I have to say. What are your guys' thoughts on this video? Remember to like and subscribe, and let's continue the discussion in the comments.